So if we're taking notes on our first quantitative force diagram questions, I do want you to have a science folder tab if you are not writing these open with regular handwritten notes. So if you create a folder in your Google Drive that is labeled science, and you might even label it Science 2021 for this school year, you can add a Google Doc to that folder for today's notes. All right, so force diagram questions. We're going to do a few new force diagrams, and we're going to start to quantify them, meaning add numbers, okay? This here is my Ralphie dog. He's a baby. He's not a baby here, but he's he's a younger fella here than what he is now. He's all gray in the face now. So in your notebook, I want you to predict what a force diagram would look like for Ralphie, who weighs 490 newtons. And it's okay if you're a hot mess. I just want you guys to write down what you think a force diagram might look like for Ralphie. So take a few moments and do that. So I'm going to ask a few questions, and people at home, let me know if you can't see what I'm drawing on my smart board. You're going to have to be vocal because I won't be able to see my computer. Okay, so how do we start a force diagram? Yeah.
Just with a circle.
Yeah, I'm going to start with, can I do this? Okay, I got my pen. I'm going to start with my dot. That dot is Ralphie. Cool. Then, what are the two forces that we know are acting on him right now? Go ahead.
Gravitational force and normal force.
Okay, and gravity goes which direction? Down. So I'm going to go nice big arrow, and I'm going to say force of gravity. And we have a number for this now. What number can I make gravity? Yeah, go ahead.
490 newtons.
Yeah, so I'm going to say 490 newtons. Okay, we're going to talk about this unit soon, but know right now forces are measured in newtons. We have our next lab coming up is going to show us where that newton actually came from or what's in a newton. But for right now, our forces are measured in newtons. Newtons is a measure of force for Sir Isaac Newton. Okay? All right, right now, what I have drawn, is that balanced or unbalanced?
Unbalanced.
It is unbalanced, because if I just had this right there, he'd be falling, right? Or being crushed through the floor. All right. Marcella, what's the force that goes up? Whoa. Hang on. What's my upward force? I got gravity down. What's my upward? Force here. Normal, yeah. Fn. All right. But I have not heard your voice yet. What number do I have to assign to normal? What do you think? What do you think? It is 490. Because he is just sitting still, right? And I'm going to put my equality marks here because it is equal and opposite. All right, so that is a force diagram for Ralphie. Kind of getting back in the swing of things a little bit, right? Now let's see if I can, that's just going to be a dot. Okay. Now, can I use the smart board? Ha ha! Okay, I'm getting there. I'm learning things. Now I just gotta figure out how to do the, I just wanted to erase it all, and there should be a way to do that. Huh, look at that. Okay, so force diagram rules. Part 1, you're going to label the net force. I didn't do that, did I? I didn't say my F net. So I'm gonna see if I can't back up here. Maybe. I want to go back. Why are you not letting me go back? Okay, well, we're going to learn from this, right? So at the top of your Ralphie page, my F net is 0 newtons. At the top of Ralphie, you'll put F net is 0 newtons because 450 down equals plus 450 up. You know what I mean? They cancel each other out. 450 down cancels 450 up, right? So did we label the amount of newtons on each vector? Cool. Do you have equality marks if they are, in fact, equal and opposite? Yes. Do you have the directions going up and down? And are they labeled? So these are the big 5 that I'll be looking for when I am checking these. Does anybody want to take a moment and jot some semblance of that down, or are you okay? Okay. I'm gonna pause my video here. All right, so next up, we are going to go to my monster cat, Abby. Abby is my monster. Again, he has a net force of 0 because he is still stationary, correct? So I can say, hey, my F net is 0. The difference is he has a different weight, doesn't he? So how do you think our force diagram is going to change? Yeah.
The length of the arrows.
Yeah. So our vectors are going to be smaller, correct? Because Ralphie was 400 and Abby's only 40 and, little. So how do I start my force diagram? Gabe, how do I start a force diagram? Okay, so I'm going to put my whoa, hey now, hey, now before I wanted to do that, now I don't. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so I'm going to try this guy. And I'm going to go Abby. And I got to draw Abby first. So there's Abby right there. He's a dot. And then Gabe said I'm going to have a vector going down. What is that vector going to be labeled as? What do you think? 44 newtons. And what kind of force is it? Gravity, yeah. And then what's going to go up? Todd, what do you think is going up? Yeah. And that is also 44. Those are equal and opposite. Side note, smaller than Ralphie. Got it? Not too tough, right? That one's looking okay? Hey, Aiden, I didn't see you pop in. Okay, I am going to clear those. All right, so you guys already have what's in red here. So we're just adding to it. So if the net force is 0, we know that the object is not moving, right? Cat's not going to move if my net force is 0. We're going to be using the term vectors. You don't necessarily need to write the not arrows better vocab. You can just write vectors or use the word vectors. The object is represented by a dot. Vectors are in the direction of the force, pointing away from the object. And the longer the vector, the more the object weighs. Here. Next to your Abby diagram, if you're hand drawing it, draw this little teeny tiny baby frog. He has a weight of 0.02 newtons. A little teeny fella. You want to do it?
I can
Try it. Do it. You know you want to write on the board. Here you go. Give it a shot. Doesn't matter what end you write with. Yep. Cool. The squeaky marker. That is perfect. So that is spot on right there. Anybody have questions from home, or anybody need to take a moment and fix anything? Okay. Okay, we are back to Ralphie. He is sitting on the stairs, and I'm playing tug of war with him with that stupid Chewy. He is not moving. He's sitting there, and he's like right across from me. So his gravity and normal are going to be the same as what he was before, right? Because his weight didn't change. He's still Ralphie. So your gravity and normal are going to be the same. But now you're going to have something side to side. I want you to predict what you might have side to side. Whoops. Include your ups and downs too, but add the side to side. Okay, so depending on how you saw this situation, you could have a couple of different force diagrams. But we know for sure that we have, there's Ralphie. We know we've got our 490 newtons Fn is going to be equal. It was 490, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got Ralphie, we've got this, but now we have a couple of different things. It's a pull with 275 newtons. So depending on which way you see the pull, I didn't specify right or left, I'm going to say 275. Should that be longer or shorter than the 490?
Shorter.
Shorter, right? So it's not even 300, and that's about half. So it's going to be pretty like this right here. So I'm going to have force applied, and that force applied is going to be 275 newtons. So I'm pulling on him with 275. Is this balanced or unbalanced as it's written? This is unbalanced. So if he did not pull back at all, like he just let go, I'd won, right? Because I would be moving and he would be letting go. What if I said, this is my pull. And now this is F, whoa. And that would be 275 newtons. And this would be from Ralphie. Now is that balanced or unbalanced? Balanced. So now we're at a stalemate. He's pulling, I'm pulling, nobody's moving anywhere. You know, you're playing tug of war and you've got a dead heat going on, right? Does that make sense? So this, my net force would be 0. In this case. But if I was doing, I'm just going to go with this. If we went back to just this one, what is my net force on this one?
$275.
To the right. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're kind of getting there, right? Getting the general idea of what's going on. Okay. And then next up is what I call the sticky wicket, because I always throw something weird at you guys. So let's try this one. All right. This one, still Ralphie. Ralphie is jumping off of the dock. And there's a couple of situations that you can look at here. One, his feet are no longer on the dock. Or you can say, I'm going to pretend that they are on the dock and they're just starting to leave. I will take 2 situations for this. So that means there are 2 possible correct diagrams here. Okay, I'm going to do the one that I thought would be the quickest to draw. This would be Ralphie no longer on the dock. Ralphie has left the dock. You can see his feet are not touching the dock. So what is the only force acting on him? He's not touching anything. There's only one force acting on him.
Gravity.
It is just gravity. So there is our force diagram, but I have to add one thing, my net force. What's my net force? My net force is 490 newtons down. Okay. So he's not touching anything, nothing's pushing, nothing's pulling. No action is happening here. It's just him in the air. The only thing that he's going to do is fall, right? You jump, you fall. Even though you might be up and then down, it's okay. The only thing that is making you fall is gravity. Can I erase this? Or do you need a minute? Need a minute? Okay. Now, what if we said that he was on the dock? Whoops. Still gonna have Ralphie. Still gonna have this. That's the one that you always know. Gravity's always down, right? And if the dock is here, okay, what direction did he push off? Yeah, to the left. Was it kind of at an angle too? So we can go here. We can go FA. No idea what the number is. But I can say it is bigger than 490. Right? Because they had to push more than his weight to move. That would be it there. You could have a little bit back for friction. But again, that's going to be way less than 490. And that's it. Okay, good job.